everybody, I will be reading part 2 of the PURR-fect Curse, and I hope you guys enjoy it, and leave a like and comment down below if I should make more of these. Enjoy! Well, you're a boy, Virgil giggled softly as he laid the small kit on the bed. I don't want to overwhelm you too soon, so I won't clutter this place up just yet. Virgil frowned, hearing how the poor thing just whined with every breath. I won't be able to tell how hurt you are till you're up. I can't take you to Logan. He'll make me put you back outside. Virgil sighed as he gently let his fingers rest down the orange fur. I must admit, for a small fry, you're pretty adorable. I should try to find Roman. Virgil groaned as he grabbed the sword of his dresser. He'll flip out if he finds out that I have it. You'll be good, okay? If you wake up, don't go hurting yourself more. I'll be right back, little one. Virgil smiled before walking out the room, leaving the small cat to be by himself. Virgil wasted no time in walking to the prince's room. It was right next to his, of course, and that alone caused so many issues. But right now, Virgil's only concern was returning the sword and caring for the cat. Princey? Virgil knocked on the door a little loudly, hoping that the whole doesn't matter where in the landscape I am. If you knock, I'll hear it thing was actually true. Virgil didn't understand how it worked, but Romans always boasted about that. He reassured everyone and every one of them that if they needed him, all they had to do was knock and he'll know. Virgil frowned as he knocked again. This is ridiculous. I'm just going to ask Dad for a key. Roman whined, hearing the loud sound of a thundering knock to his already pounding head. He stretched slightly, burying his head into the soft, cottony blankets below him. He was exhausted and in pain. He didn't want to get up and answer his door. He just wanted to sleep. Part of him knew he had to. He always answered just in case it was an emergency, especially if he was out of the house, because then it was highly likely it was an emergency. Either that or they just didn't know he was gone. He'd always teleport back, unless in some situation where he couldn't. He could hear the knocking and his name being called. It was pulling him out of the cool slumber he longed to be in. He grumbled quietly as he let his eyes slowly flutter open, still in a dreamy haze. He slowly got up and stretched himself out, yawning loudly before sitting down and just stared at the soft gray walls. Wait, gray? Roman frowned as he glanced around him. He swallowed his fear as he found himself in a room he didn't recognize. A giant room. A room for a giant. Roman whined as he stumbled back, only to freeze as his eyes caught sight of a tiny orange tail. Oh no, 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 no. Roman whimpered as he spun around in a circle as he practically chased the tail. His tail until he screeched as he fell off the bed. Roman failed a bit, pushing himself up onto his feet. Paused and whined at the pain that rang through him. This is not happening. I have to get out of. Roman whined in fear as looking around and saw everything towering around him. Where the fuck am I? Well, at least he can't say I stole it. Roman froze up like ice as the door opened, letting this giant person walk in with a sad sigh. Roman wanted to run. He was terrified. He didn't understand what was going on, and their eyes met, and Roman crashed completely. Hey, you're awake. Anxiety? Virgil knelt down with a smile, only to flinch slightly as Roman hissed angrily at him. Virgil's eyes narrowed with a soft look, but Roman really wasn't paying attention. All he could think about was how anxiety had kidnapped him, that he had done something to him. You're okay, little one. Oh, don't you dare call me that, Roman growled viciously as he slowly stepped back. You did this something to me. How dare you? Whatever you're planning, it won't work. Virgil just stayed there absolutely still as Roman looked it under the bed, hissing angrily as he refused to let the other come near him. You're frightened. That's okay. I won't push you, little guy. I'm not a little guy, Roman growled as he pushing himself into the furthest corner under the bed and curled up protectively with his tail wrapped around him. I'll bite your hand off if you even try to touch me. All right, Virgil giggled to himself as he got up onto his feet. There was no use messing with the poor thing. He was too scared to do anything. Well, it was best to just leave him alone for now. I have to go check on Thomas, so you'll be good, okay? Roman grumbled angrily from his spot under the bed as Virgil stretched. He decided he was going out after all, so I have to make some backup plans in case things go south. Let's just hope the prince doesn't chew me out again. Roman's eyes narrowed as he heard Virgil walk around the place. Before I go, a small little yellow bowl was placed on the floor and Roman frowned, seeing Virgil peek under with a smile. Just some water. I shouldn't leave you without anything. The bowl's temporary. I'll leave a better one for you, but for now, it'll work. I'll be back, okay, Small Fry? I swear if you call me that one more time, Anxiety, I'm going to snap. Virgil only sighed as he pushed away from the bed, letting the cat be on his own. See you soon. Roman rolled his eyes as he heard the door close and lock. It wasn't even a few seconds later that he heard the sound of a knock at his door. Roman couldn't help but panic. He crawled out from under the bed and whined as he tried to figure things out. He tried to teleport, but he only managed to get to the door. Apparently he couldn't teleport out of the room. Just his luck. Roman sighed as he jumped up onto Virgil's bed and just crashed with this look of annoyance. I'm already done with all of this. Chapter 3. So, wait, where's Roman? Thomas glanced around them as he frowned in concern. It was his idea to go out tonight. He left shortly after our last meeting. Virgil mumbled with a half-committal wave. He's probably out trying to fight goblins or whatever his mind can cook up. I knocked on his door. Well, I can't. Virgil groaned as he tried to ignore his hopes. Rising anxiety. I can't go without Roman. Thomas, we're making the plans right now. Thomas frowned as he shook his head and started to get up. Virgil panicked a bit as he quickly grabbed the pen and paper. Thomas! He yelled out, making the other freeze. He hasn't really intended on yelling, but shit happens. Sit back down. I can't go without Roman. It was his idea. And on top of that, how would I even know what to do? And Virgil sighed as he gestured to the couch, and Thomas nodded slightly, sitting back down. You should be happy, Anxiety. I said I wasn't going. You think that makes me happy? Thomas frowned in confusion as Virgil just groaned. Thomas, it's not that I don't want you to go. I want you to be safe. Yes, I come off a bit strong. But if you never go, then nothing bad can happen. Yes? Well, yes, but Roman was right, though. You need to breathe. Thomas' eyes went wide as Virgil just stared at his paper. Sometimes a person needs more of a break than just sitting at home doing nothing. I don't like the idea of you going out because of everything that could happen, but that doesn't mean that what could happen will happen. So, maybe just this once for the pathetic prince's sake, I'll concede I point to him. Virgil paused as he looked up to find Thomas smiling, and he froze. What? You're trying to get me to go out. Virgil tensed as Thomas pointedly lazy at him. You're trying to convince me to still go. You're trying to help Roman. I am not. Virgil shook as Thomas just chuckled. Yes, you are. Virgil's eyes flashed with fear as he gripped the paper tightly. I never thought I'd see the day where Anxiety would be trying to help the prince. I'm not helping that ego prick. Virgil whined as he shook his head. I'm just stating facts. You should go out or tonight. You already made plans. You already have a friend coming to pick you up. It wouldn't be fair to just drop it out of the blue a few hours later. You're going. Okay. Thomas held his hand up in surrender as the sound of Virgil's disordinate voice, and he sighed. You know, Anx, if you did this while Roman was here, he wouldn't be as hard on you as he is. What are you talking about? Thomas smirked softly as he watched Virgil start to write things down. He let let his hands fall into his lap as he rolled his eyes. If you showed Roman that you do in fact care about what he says and takes into consideration, then he wouldn't fight you so much. Virgil laughed as he just focused on everything he was writing down. You do know he hates me, right? There's no middle ground with him. Besides, I don't need his help. Virgil smirked as he passed over the paper, making Thomas frown as he reads it. Just some backup plans should a few things happen. Personally, I feel you should go back and sleep, but as I said before, you really should get out. You look like a pale vampire who painted himself with sunblock. So thick it's just paint. Thanks? No problem, Starshine. Virgil winked as he stood up and stretched, listening to the pop in his back and that he got in response. Okay then, you have fun, but more importantly, be safe. I don't want to work extra time, okay? So seriously, be safe. I'm heading back. If you do see Roman, tell him his sword is in his room. The last thing is an angry prince coming at me. Thomas only nodded as Virgil stuck out and yawned. Honestly, sometimes being out there was a bit draining. Virgil slowly chugged back to his room, only to pause as Roman's again with a slurry look. Ro? Virgil knocked softly to tired to knock very loud. Roman, I know you don't like me, but you missed the meeting with Thomas. Roman? Virgil sighed as he grumbled and rolled his eyes. Whatever, I give up. Virgil carefully moved to his door, stumbling a bit as he opened his door and groaned quietly. The moment he walked in, he spotted something shoot under the bed from the corner of his eyes, but he could only yawn in response. He'd barely got much sleep that night prior, and with everything going on, he was left pretty drained. He staggered his way over to his bed, plopping down with an exhausted groan, only to freeze. Wait, I have to feed. Virgil rubbed his tired eyes as he pushed himself back up. Feed the cat. Virgil smiled as he pushed open to his mini fridge. He himself couldn't just create things, as Roman and Remus were the only ones with creation powers, but there were a few things Virgil had that lets him summon stuff if he needed. His fridge was one of them. He opened the fridge to find a small thing of tuna, and he beamed. It worked. Here you go, little guy. Virgil mumbled tiredly as he put his plate down by the bed. He didn't wait for anything to happen. He just laid himself back down on the bed and sighed softly as he closed his eyes. I'm gonna take a nap. Hope you like tuna. Hope I like tuna? Roman grumbled slightly as he carefully pushed himself out from under the bed. He looked up to see Virgil fast asleep and he frowned. I do not understand you. How on earth can someone sleep so much? Roman rolled his eyes as he turned back to the plate inside. He was a bit hungry. He had skipped breakfast to work on things for Thomas, but it was something that anxiety had given him. He couldn't trust that dark spider boy. Roman's stomach growled, making his eyes go wide with embarrassment. He just stared at the tuna before glancing at Virgil and shaking his head. If I get poisoned and die as a cat, I'm haunting your ass, anxiety. Roman's stomach growled again as he slowly moved closer to the light. Maybe one bite when it hurt. And that's all for chapter 2 and 3, guys. I hope you enjoyed. And if you guys enjoy the book, just tell me down below, and I would love to continue reading this book as it is one of my favorites. And please go check out the creator, and have a nice day.